Hello everyone, this is Lewis and the Trans, aka Ellen25, aka Lewis JM, and I'm just gonna give you my I'm just giving my bit of a review of this new Transformers series known as Robots in Disguise. And I'm pretty sure, as you already know by the T-shirt and this cap, I'm pretty much a big fan of the Transformers franchise. Watched the first generation, Beast Wars, Animated, Prime. All but good. Prime, of course, my own personal favorite, because it was more interesting. The first and second season gave us plenty of good episodes to enjoy. While the third season, though I'm going to complain about that a little bit, is that a little too rushed. With a couple of questions that have been left unanswered. Say, for example, why there was an armada of Predacons at the ready being cloned when they gathered up just a few simple bones, or how did the Star Saber, Polarity Gauntlet, or Immobilizer was in the ship in the first place, yet it wasn't anywhere within the rest of the season, or better yet, if the final part was for the Decepticons to gather human mechanics to create their own Omega Lock, shouldn't they have episodes of its own instead of just one episode that lasts too quick? It's kind of a bit too quickened to get about understanding. Not to mention that there was 13 episodes of the third season of Prime, let alone three more if you count the movie. Still, it was a good ending, giving that ending as the war was over, Decepticons were defeated, and Megatron was killed by Bumblebee of all people, but understandable. And of course, ending in Predacon Rising when Optimus sacrificed himself just so he can bring life back to Cybertron and continue for new generation of Transformers. Still, there were a lot of questions that are left unanswered. Being that if Optimus being the last of the Primes, who's going to take over? Or better yet, what's going to happen to the rest of the team? Let alone the human companions from the Prime series. Thankfully, Hasbro managed to rectify that little matter by putting up a brand new series that actually takes place after the last one, called Robots in Disguise. My thoughts of this new series is a bit sideways. I mean, I enjoyed it, but there are a few things that are a little off. Let me first explain the plot. Basically, take place years after Prime, and Cybertron's back to being the living, thriving planet that once was before the war. The rest of the Team Prime pretty much retired from their orbits and moving on to their lives. One being that Bulkhead, a construction worker. However, I don't know much about the others, what they do after years of fighting. But the story mainly focuses on Bumblebee, as he decided to become a street cop to keep the peace. That's a bit of a sticking point to me, because after killing Megatron with the Star Saber sword and being promoted to warrior after years of war, Bumblebee turns into a local law enforcement officer. Doesn't make sense in a way, but at least there's reason behind it. Anyways, while trying to stop somewhat of a string punk in Sideswipe with the help of a Autobot cadet in Strongarm, Bumblebee saw images of Optimus Prime telling him to go to Earth as a new threat arises. That new threat involves the prison ship, the Algamore, crash landing on Earth, thus releasing the prisoners from inside, mostly Decepticons based. So when he and Strongarm and Sideswipe accidentally took a space bridge to the planet, they discovered that there are many Decepticons that escaped they start rounding up the Decepticons just so they Decepticons with the help of a former fugitive in Grimlock, and two new human companions, Rusty and Danny. So, Danny. Basically, this is pretty much the main plot of this series in a way. But there is pretty much another plot based around the Decepticons themselves, as Steeljaw, a Decepticon werewolf, as it were, wanted to have Decepticons live peacefully on Earth. Yet I'm pretty sure there's something much bigger going on with this, with him and his crew. But we're just pretty much nearing the end of the season, so I don't know much unless I want to look into Wikipedia and get spoiled. So anyways, that's pretty much the basic plot, and that's a bit of a problem for me because it's most of the episodes involve finding the Decepticon fugitive, capturing him in different methods, taking him back to the stasis pod, repeat. It's nothing compared to Prime's multiple arcs for the past 3 seasons, such as the Dark Energon at the beginning of the first season, the Megatron coming back from two-part things to Bumblebee, the quote-unquote the mech arc that goes from periodic episodes, or the Omega Lock debacle, and I go the Predacons. Pretty much all most of Prime has multiple arcs, while Robots in Disguise seems like the same old arc. But I'm getting a good feeling that when we reach the end, we get to see the much broader picture. Animation-wise, it is a bit of a sticking standpoint, because to me, Prime was good because it was 3D animated with 2D, with some 2D backgrounds and pictures and the like, and that was really good. Looking to the new series, it almost looks. At first, I thought it was gonna be like something out of Rescue Bots, but watching all the episodes now, I see that it's more reminiscent to Tron Uprising, as another series I've used to enjoyed before the XD pulled the plug on it. And I think it's pretty much passable on my occasion. As far as characters are concerned, there's a bit of a yay nay within me. I mean, Bumblebee's new look is pretty unique, and at least he's back to the yellow color scheme than that from the 3rd season of Prime, which he was pretty much mostly black, and which I feel as though a little weird on my occasion. Other than, of course, and then Strong Arm and Sidetrack have really good character designs as well, which kind of reminiscent of Prime in a way. I'm beginning to think about using those two characters with my fanfiction story, but it's a long stretch, and I haven't even gone around to it. I'm still working on the 3rd season, so nothing to matter. Now, I'm pretty sure most people feel like seeing the Decepticons in animal-based forms are the bad thing about that series. I should know the Sealer from fanfiction didn't like the designs at all, with the exception of Underbite. But I'm not complaining. After all, it doesn't matter what the Decepticon looks like, whether it be a jet, vehicle, or animal form. Conticon, no matter how you put it. And besides, we already had like an animal hybrid of Arachnid in the Prime series when she was a predatory spider centaur, by the looks of it. Now, but there are 2 characters that I'm not very fond of. First 2, of course, are the... First one is, of course, Fix-It, because by his design and the way he acts, he's pretty much just as annoying as the Wheelie in the Transformers movieverse, if not more. But the one person I'm a little iffy about is of course Grimlock, and let me show you through my iPad. Just give me a second. Let's see, where is it? Here we go. As you can see from this comic picture, from this cover from one of Transformers Beast Hunter, Grimlock should have looked like this in the and it's pretty much a big homage to the first generation type of Dinobots. The Grimlock in the RID is a hell of a lot different than the Grimlock in the comic series, because he's pretty much mostly green, black, and he has a bit of a sound of a rough and tough guy. It makes me feel like that this was somewhat of a prehistoric version of Bulkhead from Transformers Prime. But he does get the job done, and even if this is a different Grimlock, I do believe that he is quite an interesting character. Then there's like other characters, like say for example Drift, because they're sticking to the samurai aspect, like Drift in Age of Extinction, but then he has to shoot these things that were actually minicons, and those minicons are like what? One of them's Jetfire, the other one, what was it? Sunstreaker, I believe. That looks a little bit of an annoyance in my part. But I do like the Jazz character, because he certainly reminds me of the Jazz in Animated, only a bit more bulky and has a bit of a surround sound weapon that pushes people back, like one of my characters in the Transformers Prime fanfiction, where I made Miko into an Autobot that shoots sonic blaster cannons. If you don't know what I mean, go to fanfiction, search Louis JM in the writers, and you get to see what I'm trying to say. So, as far as the series go, I feel like it has potential. I mean, it's pretty much nearing the end of the season. They got like a couple of more extra episodes left over, and they're gonna bring back one of the another Transformers characters from the comic book series. I think her name is Windblade. Yeah, Windblade. The episodes are pretty interesting, even if the plot's basically the same old. And even though a few things go to the stupid factor, like for instance the Caspigo tribe, or Bumblebee's process regressing to that of a young Sparkling due to Quillfire's needles, it actually flows along nicely, because it sticks back to the action on a few occasions, and it does go back to the way things were. Plus, of course, when you have robots have his nightmares, I did skip the nightmare aspect, because let's face it, really, Grimlock, you're afraid of a little cat? Ugh. Long story short, I enjoyed the series, and I'm hoping to see how it's gonna work out in the end. And I do have speculation due to a trailer near the end of the season where Optimus comes back, and I'm thinking, oh my god, that's gonna be epic. Of course, I have to wait and see for the coming weeks, because we're still nearing the end, and I don't know what's gonna happen after that. You know, with a series of this potential, I feel as though there's gonna be a chance of a second season. Who knows? Maybe they might bring back the cast from the original, from the Transformers Prime. Have Team Prime come back together in a few cameo episodes, or better yet, the human companions from the Prime series, Jack, Raph, and Miko. They might come back a little older and much more like, say, soldiers or agents or something, which I might find quite really interesting. Of course, that's a big if on the occasional standpoint, because the series as a whole, with the series as a whole, let's just say they're on a specific channel that are pretty much alienating them from the viewers. That channel is, of course, Cartoon Network. Now, I want to go ahead and brag about that one, but I have a lot to get off my chest on Cartoon Network's years of foolish mistakes and whatnot, I feel like that should be saved for another episode, for another video, for another time. So, as far as I know, this is a very interesting series, and it's pretty much a breath of fresh air after the debacle that was Transformers: Age of Extinction, that movie, with a plot so terribly rewritten. They should have written that it's just dumbed down. So long story short, this is a good series. Big recommendation if anyone watches it. You can still see some of the episodes you missed out on iTunes. Netflix still waiting on, but we'll see what happens in the forefront. Now for the next video, I'm gonna be discussing about Cartoon Network's lazy attempt of airing this series, along with other foolish mistakes they've been doing. A little bit of a rant on my part, so expect to see a lot of yelling on my behalf. So, once again, this is Lewis on the Trans. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed my little thoughts on Robots in Disguise. Stay tuned for more videos, and stay tuned for my little rant on Cartoon Network. See ya!